Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about mental health whilst living with Crohn's disease. I know for me, when I was first diagnosed with Crohn's disease, it was a very full-on time. It was very overwhelming, and I didn't really know what to do or what to think. But after living with it for 7 years now, I've implemented a few strategies and ways of thinking that have definitely helped my mental health, and it's allowed me to deal with Crohn's disease a lot better. So of course, none of this is medical advice, it's just my own personal lived experiences. But if you have any suggestions or maybe any questions, definitely leave a comment down below. So firstly, if you've just been diagnosed, you're obviously feeling very fatigued, very sick, and your mental health is going to be all over the shop. I think the most important thing to do first is to voice those concerns to your doctor. Tell them that you're not feeling great about this. You might be, a bit anxious about the whole process, the medications, and the fact that this disease is for life can be quite stressful. So your doctor's going to be able to give you all the information that you need to hopefully put your mind at ease. But I also really recommend reaching out to friends and family, maybe not necessarily telling them straight away you have Crohn's, maybe just ask them, do you know anyone who has Crohn's disease? Do you know much about it? You'd be surprised. So many people I've met that I would never have a previous relationship with have Crohn's disease. And because of that, we kind of have a unique bond. And I think that's actually quite interesting. So yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to reach out to people and kind of ask their story, maybe their background. People are very willing to share advice. And that obviously comes with a catch too. I think I've heard advice in the past related to Crohn's that I didn't necessarily agree with. People were telling me to eat certain foods or don't eat certain foods, and it never really impacted me like it did to them. So I would just be cautious, listen to what people have to say. You don't have to take it on board, but I would definitely, recommend reaching out to your doctor, friends, family to get a better idea on what Crohn's disease is and how it can affect you. Secondly, I'd also really recommend going on YouTube and listening to people's stories like this one. I think it's a really great way to hear from someone who's gone through it. Maybe they're 7 years in like I am, maybe they've had it for 30 years. I think in each stage you have your own perspective and your own thoughts. So I would definitely recommend doing research on that front. On the other end of things, I wouldn't really recommend going on Google and doing a deep dive on all these scientific journals and articles. I think that can be quite overwhelming, and I personally wouldn't recommend it, at least in those kind of early stages. For me now, I've kind of gone through those more in-depth analysis of what Crohn's is and how it affects you, and I can relate to it a lot more, but I think in those first few months, that wouldn't have been a great idea. So for me, exercise is probably one of the best things to improve my mental health, but in those early stages, it's probably the last thing you're going to want to be thinking about. You're going to be fatigued, you're going to be sick, you have no energy. But with that said, once you are at the point where you think that you might be able to start incorporating that, I would definitely recommend it, even just 2-3 days a week, just to get you back into a better routine and maybe something similar to what it was in the past. I would never overdo it. I wouldn't recommend training 5 days a week, going to the gym that often when you're not feeling too great. But yeah, just doing enough to get you back into that rhythm, I think will be great for your mental health. I'd also really recommend a form of meditation. I'm not one to advise on what one's best, but for me personally, I've done mantra and I've done breath work, and both of them have helped me a lot, not just dealing with Crohn's, but just general day-to-day activities. So I'd really recommend, looking into meditation and not overlooking that, because sometimes it does seem like, how will this help me? It seems like it doesn't do anything. But once you've given it a go and you've kind of implemented that into your routine, it can honestly do wonders for your mental health. Anyways, they're the things that I really recommend. So it's reaching out to friends and family, speaking to your doctors, looking into other people's perspectives on YouTube or even online as well. I would definitely avoid the really heavy, in-depth scientific journal articles. I think they might be a little bit too much in those beginning stages. And I'd also really recommend not giving up exercise, but just doing whatever your body is capable of, and also looking into meditation as well, just to implement into your daily routine. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or concerns, leave a comment down below. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.